What up?
Oh, you sound so good in there.
Welcome back.
Nice little crackety poppity. So, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about homeschooling. What was your... Well, first of all, I was homeschooled. I don't know what kind of school. You went to...
You're really just jumping in there.
Oh, okay. You want me to start over? I feel like I should start over now.
I feel like I had a really good intro there.
You did have a really good intro and I fucked it up. Can we do it again?
No, I already opened it. What flavor is this?
That's your peach.
Oh.
You said you wanted to try the peach, so I put the peach in there.
The peach vodka? You're going to have to edit this a lot. Oh,
I thought you wanted the peach high noon.
I don't know.
You want to try this one too? Compare?
Sure. You've had a lot. I think that one might be better.
I think so too, actually.
Welcome back to the podcast. Today is the day we're doing the podcast.
Welcome back, guys. We got some fun stuff planned for you, I think. We'll see. But we were talking a little bit earlier today about homeschooling, and that's been a hot topic this past week with some coworkers that I work with. So we're just
Wait, do you have coworkers that you don't work with?
Yeah, I have coworkers that I don't work with. There's tons of people at other locations. I don't work with them, but they're technically coworkers.
How do you know them if you don't work with them?
Well, I mean, I also have coworkers from that other company that work in the same building as me, but I don't work with them.
So then they're not your coworkers if you don't work with them.
What's the definition of a coworker?
Someone that you work with.
Oh.
Someone that you work cooperatively with. Collaboratively. Any CL word.
Okay. Well, you got me. Checkmate. I'm homeschooled.
You didn't learn that much in homeschool.
No, because I didn't have coworkers or co-schoolers.
Yeah, it's called classmates.
Oh. Nope. Class of one. It was fantastic.
Class of one. My high school graduating class had 99 people in it. So I would often say that we were a class of 99. And people... that was a really weird way that I just sniffed. People think that I was saying I was a class of 99, like the year 1999.
No, but there were 99. What year?
There were 99 of us, 99 people. This is too loud. I was not the class of 99. I know that I age well, but not that well, I guess.
No, you age fantastically. But no, what year were you?
It's a
Classified information, but not the year 99. How does that work though? Is there
not the year we went to the moon or 99?
Did we go to the moon? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, everyone knows we went to the moon in 1969. Thanks to Even Stevens.
I don't know who Even Stevens is.
It was a show, and they had an episode about the year we went to the moon, and they had a song.
Can you sing it?
Nope.
Can you tell me how it goes?
We went to the moon in 1969.
It'd sound better with a little bit of a tune.
Hey, I had a bike lock. When we lived in Hawaii, I had a bike lock, and the code on my bike lock was 1969, because I was like, that's the year we went to the moon, so I'll remember it. I actually think I still do have this bike lock, so if you see me out and about with my bike, don't steal my bike. I also had another bike lock where the password just came from the store, which I don't feel like is very, very high security, but the password was seal. Like
SEAL?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
I think that was in college.
Well,
I was also at the bike store one time with my dad, and I had a bike from Walmart. It was a Schwinn, and it's nothing special. And I was asking the guy at the store about bike locks or something, and he goes, No offense, but no one's going to steal your bike.
Oh, what a nice guy.
Then my dad felt guilty because we weren't going to buy anything that this guy had helped us so much, and we were not going to purchase anything, that he bought a helmet for me, just like so we would leave the store with something.
My goodness. Well, at least that guy was honest, though. But
yeah, I mean, it's like the kind of bike store where people go to like get their like triathlon Ironman bikes and cycling bikes.
Oh, so it's like a serious, I'm dedicated bike store.
Yeah.
Oh, what was your original plan for going there? What were you looking for?
I was just in college and I got a bike. I had the bike.
But not from that store.
Like, no, they probably don't sell at the level. Honestly, I don't know. It might have been from that store. Because, I mean, they have all sorts of bikes, but most people would just like go to Walmart or Target to get the kind of bike that I had, which I don't remember where it came from.
Did you have to provide your own bike for that triathlon that you were going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, so was that the bike that you were going to use?
No, I just rented a bike for that.
Oh, you can rent them.
Yeah, you can rent bikes from those stores, which I just rented. My cousin and I were doing this triathlon together, and he was coming in from out of town. So he was like, I'm just going to rent a bike because I'm not going to bring my bike all the way across the country. And I didn't have a bike. So I was like, oh, I'll just do that too. And then this triathlon was like, I trained for it for 2 months, but 2 months is not really long enough to train for a triathlon when you've never done one before and you're not an expert in the sports. So it was definitely not enough time for me. So I picked up my bicycle from the bike shop, I think the day before the triathlon. And the guy's like, ride it around the parking lot or whatever down the street just to make sure it feel like it's comfortable for you. And I did. And I had just trained on stationary bikes at the gym and like my old shitty college bike. And it was in that moment I was like, I am very unprepared. Because like getting on a Schwinn that you're riding around a college campus is very different from like a triathlon bike. It's like you're at a different angle on the bike. You have to know the gears. I didn't know any of it. So that was clue number one, that like, whoa, you might be in over your head. And then clue number two was, and this actually might have been beforehand. I went to the packet pickup place and I'm picking up my packet, obviously. And there were some other people there who were talking about the gravel tread level of like the road that day. Like they had like gone and walked
the track.
Yeah. And it was like, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like it was like 1% or something. And I didn't even know what they were talking about. It's like, what? And so, yeah, and I also didn't know anything about shifting gears on a bike like that. And so I had to like go home and study when and how to be shifting gears and when you should. And then I took that bike out to like the trail in my neighborhood and practice, because it makes a huge difference if you're going uphill or downhill, if you're in the right or wrong gear. It's like a whole different life.
Yeah.
So anyway, I showed up to the triathlon that morning, obviously, and there was weather. It was raining and storming, and then progressively it basically just got worse and worse and worse. And so the event, it didn't cancel itself. It just like turned itself into a 5K, because I don't think they wanted to refund everybody the money. So they were like, first they were going to cut out the swimming and it was just going to be a bike and run. And then the lightning was getting worse, so that they were like, we need to do something so that these people don't want their money back, or we have to do a race on a different day. And they're like, but it's no longer safe to bike. So we just did a 5K.
How long is the run supposed to be in a triathlon? Is it a 5K or more?
No, this one was an Olympic level. So I think, the run is a 10K. And then the bike, I think it's like 25 miles, whatever that is in kilometers. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what that is. And then the swim is, I want to say, roughly 2 miles. It's all in whatever.
Kilometers, meters.
Is that the metric system?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all in metric. So I don't know. The only one I know is 10K. So I had not trained for a triathlon or a 5K, because that's basically, in my opinion, just like a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just try. I mean, it's not. actually a sprint, but I mean, it could be, but.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take that long.
I know, but it's different if you're just running fast for a short distance compared to like pacing yourself for a longer run. Not that it's that big of a difference, but anyway, I was not prepared for. I mean, it was fine. I think I did like 25 minutes.
So is it more expensive for you to like do this Olympic level triathlon than to just run a 5K?
Yeah, probably.
So then did they refund you like at least a portion of it? So you just got a really expensive 5K?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, it sucks even more for my cousin because he flew in from another state. And so when the weather was getting worse and worse, like the morning of, because, they're just like, at first they're just delaying it. So you're just kind of standing around waiting for the lightning to stop so that they can make an announcement. And he and I were joking. Like, this might end up being the most expensive 5K I've ever done. But we thought, like, we were just going to have to wait and we would still be able to do it. And then it legit did turn into a really expensive 5K. Because, like, he had the travel plus the bike rental, which we didn't even use. And then...
Yikes.
Yeah.
That sucks. Hotel, that kind of thing.
Well, I think he just stayed with family.
Oh, well, yeah.
Maybe they charged him. I don't know.
That's a possibility with some families. You haven't done one since then, right?
No.
So how many marathons have you done? Or how many runs total have you done?
I have no idea. Marathons, I think I've done 3, 2.
32?
No, 2 or 3. At least 2. I think only 2.
How many halves?
1, 2, 3, 4. Probably at least 4.
And then how many 5Ks?
Wait, we did one together. I did one in college. I did one with Sarah. I did one with Tim. So at least 4.
And then how many 5Ks? So you got two marathons, 4 halves. At least.
Yeah, I'd have to check my t-shirts.
2 to 3. At least.
I did 1 10K. No, I've done multiple 10. I don't know. I've done a bunch of 5Ks now. I don't really like put those in my memory bank because most of the 5Ks that I do are just for fun.
Oh, and
I usually don't train for them very well like I should.
We have another one coming up soon too.
Yeah, it's in a week.
Yeah. But this'll probably come out after we've already done it.
Well, we need to go down to the trail.
Yes, we do. And we will do that.
Do you have the monitor?
Yeah, I got the monitor.
Oh. Just had to make sure we had eyes on the baby.
Nope, I'm tracking it.
Wait, how many races have you done?
Well, okay, so that depends on what you include. Are you including my Marine Corps career?
No.
Well, probably not, because I guess that's only a 5K. But...
Yeah, I mean, did you
opt
into those things?
No, I didn't opt into those. It was required.
Yeah, like I didn't include my soccer practice.
Damn. That's a little spicy. Anyway.
They say you run like an average of 7 miles every soccer game.
I believe that.
But if you're the goalkeeper, it's probably less.
Yeah, you have to make up for it in practice. No, I've run the 5K with you that we ran recently with Brady and Henry and Joey and your dad. And I did the half with you.
Reluctantly. No, wait, actually that was your idea.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I regret it. Okay, we're going to do another one and I'm going to redeem myself.
The short version of that is Isaiah wanted to do a half marathon. So I said, sure, I'll do it with you. And then the morning of, he was like, why the heck are we doing this? And I was like, come on, it'll be fun. And then we started the race, and within like 8 steps he was just like, eat my dust, I'll see you at the end. And I never saw him again till the finish line.
That's her version of the story. Now we got to tell the whole story. No, so I was recently out of the military, and it was kind of like a strenuous time for me, and I had a little bit of like anxiety going into the race. Just because I did not run a lot when I was a kid. I mean, I ran a lot for like sports and stuff like that, but I wasn't.
Homeschoolers do sports?
Yeah, we do sports too. We got all kinds of things, but we'll get to that in a minute. But no, I I wanted to. Well, I didn't. I hated running. I hated anything related to running. It sucked. But it was required so often in the Marine Corps. You have to do a PFT and a CFT every year. Actually, I don't know what they do now. I don't know if they've changed the rules or anything. But when I was
you have to say what those letters mean.
So a PFT is a physical fitness test. You do that once a year, and you have to run 3.1 miles. Do at minimum 8 pull-ups at a perfect score at the time.
You run first?
No. So no. You do pull-ups first, then crunches, and then you run. And all of that together combined, you have to pass each category to get a good fitness test. To be able to like stay in the Marine Corps. If you can't pass that, they'll kick you out.
They'll like give you a second chance.
Yeah, you get you get like 1 or 2 second chances.
They're not just like right there on the spot. You lose.
No, but you then do get negative paperwork that goes on your record. And then if you have enough of that, you get kicked out. But I never had to worry about that.
Do the other branches have requirements?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. Not to them. Great people, I'm sure, but Marine Corps is the best. Everybody knows it. But anyway, no, so then you have to do a CFT the other half of the year, and that's a 880.
What is the C?
C is a combat, the F is a fitness, and the T is a test.
The C is a combat?
Yeah. So it's just like simulating like a movement to contact, like what you would have to do, like if you came under fire. So you have to sprint, and you do this in foot. The PFT you only do in like running shoes and like gym.
You get running shoes?
Yeah, you get running shoes, gym shorts, and like a t-shirt. Skivvies is what they call them. Anyway, so the CFT is you're in your camis, and then you have to wear your boots too, and you sprint 880 yards, and you have to do that in I can't remember. I think it's under
880 yards.
I'm pretty sure.
That's almost 9 football fields.
Yes.
Where do you have the land to sprint almost 1,000 yards? Or are you like doing laps somewhere?
So what we would do, because I was in the air wing, we had a track that went around the airfield. Not a track, it was like a paved like path for like carts and stuff. But we would run that, and it would be like a quarter of the way around the airfield. So I just want to make sure it is 880 yards. Yeah, I was right. It's an 880 yard sprint. And then you have
That's a lot of sprinting.
Yeah. You have like
How many minutes do you have?
Like 2 minutes. It's 2 to 3 minutes. I think failing is like 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Anyway, I'll have to. Yeah, they did. The Marine Corps did change it for the CFT, or I mean the PFT. It's pull-ups, 3 pull-ups.
3 pull-ups?
Yes, or 34 push-ups is the minimum.
3 pull-ups.
Yeah, I know.
To be a Marine, you have to do 3 pull-ups?
Yeah.
I could do 3 pull-ups.
Yeah, well, if you're doing the bare minimum, you're not going to make it very far. Trust me. And then the...
Wait, what
is...
is...
No. I'm sorry, that's for application.
You have to do 3 pull-ups to get into the Marines?
Yes, you have to do 3 pull-ups to get in. You know how many women have to do?
1.
Yeah, 1. How many?
Assisted with a band.
Anyway. No, so then you have to take a 30-pound ammo can, and you have to...
Okay, wait. 3 pull-ups, like that's in it. Is there time?
Yes. You have 2 minutes.
You have 2 minutes, and it's like just do as many as you can?
No. There's no time limit on the pull-ups. So you have to do either 3 pull-ups or 34 push-ups in 2 minutes. That's the bare minimum.
So what would be the maximum? What would be it?
I don't know. You want me to pull up the MAR admin?
Why would you do more if...
Well, because if you were doing the bare minimum, you are going to get you're not gonna get like accommodations for that.
So
you're
you
not
would
gonna
want to do as
move up
many as
in
you
rank.
can in 2 minutes.
Yes.
I feel like you just said no. I said do as many as you can, and you said no.
No, you do want. No, I know. I was.
I'm just trying to understand what this is about.
I'm trying to differentiate between the pull-ups and the push-ups, because the push-ups you have a time limit. The pull-ups you do not have a time limit. It's you get up, you hang on the bar, and then you do as many as you can. But once you drop off of the bar, then you're done. So like you can hang on the bar and just like rest. But if you can't do anymore and you drop off the bar for whatever reason, or you let go, you're
So you
done.
get more points the more you do?
Yes. There's a maximum point limit. Like a perfect score is a 300 PFT and a 300 CFT, and that's getting 100 points in each category. Like I said, I can't remember exactly what the exact things were. I never had an issue with it. I got mostly perfect scores every time.
Mostly perfect. I don't think that exists.
Mostly perfect? What do you mean? Like I got several CFTs and PFTs where I got scores of 300 each time. But then like some of them, I just didn't care as much. So I didn't try that hard, but I still got like high 280s, 290s.
So you got some perfect and others not perfect.
Right. So mostly perfect scores. Maybe that's incorrect.
Well,
I digress.
It just sounded like you were saying mostly perfect, like for one score, and that isn't a thing. You either got a perfect score or you didn't. But if you're saying I have like 10 scores, most of them aren't perfect. Then
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Thank you for helping me understand my semantics better. Anyway, but yeah, so back to the combat fitness test. What you do is what you need.
Nothing. I'm just looking at my drinks,
So
thinking that I probably shouldn't be combining them.
Oh, I see. But yeah, no, so the combat fitness test, you have to run 880 yards, and then you have to do, it's 120 ammo can presses of 30 pounds. You do have 2 minutes to do that, and you just like hold it in front of you, and you have to go like this for as many as you can in 2 minutes.
Is it actual ammo inside?
No, it's usually filled with like sand. Well, I don't know about certain branches, or not certain branches, but like certain units, but all of ours were filled with sand. And then after that, you have to go through this little obstacle course, and you have like 2 minutes and 30 seconds to do that, where you sprint down to one cone, and then you J-hook, which is like you go around it, and then you drop on your face. You got to crawl on your belly for 20 yards, jump up to your hands and knees and crawl like a baby for 20 more yards, hop up, you sprint to the next cone, zigzag through these cones, get to the end, do 3 push-ups, throw a grenade, and try to hit within a certain area. It's not a live grenade, it's just a simulated grenade. Then you grab your buddy, and you have to what is it? You have to fireman drag. Like you have to like drag him back like 10 yards or something like that, and then you zigzag back through these cones. And then when you get through that, then you have to pick them up, fireman's carry, and sprint all the way back to the end of to the starting line. Once you get back to the starting line, you pick up 2 30-pound ammo cans, and then you run all the way back down through this whole thing, get to the end. Oh, that's what you do. You get to the end, and then you throw the grenade, and then you do 3 more push-ups, and then frickin' run back with these ammo cans. So
do I do it one at a time?
Yeah, you do it one at a time. But usually they have like 4 or 5 lines set up, so you can get 100, 150 people through in an hour or 2. But yeah, so that's what you had to do. Anyway, none of that counts as a run, because I didn't volunteer for that. It was required. But yes, so I volunteered for 1 5K and 1 half marathon. That's all I've done. So I'm way under you.
It's about to be 2.
About to be 2. Anyway, where were we? How did we get here?
You wanted to talk about homeschooling.
Oh, yeah. How do you feel about homeschooling?
You have to give your backstory.
Yeah, so I was homeschooled.
That's it. Can you tell? Does it show? Yes.
Hey now. Thank you. There's a lot of great people that are homeschooled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it does show a bit, but studies show. I'm a nerd. Being homeschooled was fun, okay? I was homeschooled. I never went to school until I got to college. And even then I didn't go to college. I joined the Marine Corps and then I went to college after that. But yeah, I mean, let's see, how did it start out? I don't remember.
You were 5 and your mom said, school starts today. Sit down at the kitchen table. We're doing alphabet.
Yeah, that's kind of how it started, I think. Can't really remember. No, it was a blast, though, because when...
Did you say the Pledge of Allegiance at your school?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes?
I don't think I did it all the time. I think I said it every now
timer.
and then. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come right back
We
with
have
homeschooling.
sourdough to attend to. You remember when I did that and you punched me in the face?
No, I don't, actually.
We have it on camera. We can,
Oh, wasn't that in one of our vlogs?
yeah.
Yeah, what country was that?
What?
What country was that?
Hawaii.
Oh.
Well, Hawaii used to be a country.
Yeah. It very recently became a state.
1959, I think. Or 56, maybe.
I think it was 56. But yeah, that's a fun fact that most people don't know.
Ah, sorry.
That-
I'm always messing with this.
That's okay. Yeah, most people don't know that. Hawaii didn't become a state until after World War II.
I don't know what most people don't know. Or what most people do know. Okay, so we had to take a break because I had to attend to my sourdough.
Oh, you were right. It was August 21st, 1959.
Look at me.
Good call.
I think that's a day that's not celebrated in Hawaii.
No, definitely not. They want their independence back.
Yep. King Kamehameha Day, on the other hand.
Big day.
Big party, brother.
We do love a big party, brother. Shout out to my homies in Hawaii.
Chemo.
Brother Kimo. You know if you know. If you know, you know.
Okay, so what you want to talk about being homeschooled. Do you think it was the best part of your life?
Well, it was fun, yeah. Well, okay, so let's start with what? Go ahead. You had a
I
thought.
think you think it was fun because you just got out of most of school.
Yeah. Why would I want to sit at home and do school all day? That sucks. I was actually thinking about this earlier, but so for a certain period of time, I didn't feel like I had anything interesting to contribute to life.
That's sad.
Well, I know I didn't, because like when I was in like high school and like, you know, right out of high school, I was like, oh, I have no cool stories to tell. Like all these other people, they have these cool stories about like, oh, I did this in high school, or oh, I did that in high school, and all that stuff. And then I was talking to my coworker, Brady.
The one that you work with?
Yeah, I do work with
Okay.
him. And he was like, oh, dude, like all I have is school stories. It's so boring. And it's just like, yeah, okay, your high school stories are not really that cool, dude. I'm not saying at his stories. Boy,
Brady, you're boring.
No, Brady's not boring.
Brady's not boring.
No, he's a lot of fun. But like for general people that like go to high school, like you could be doing so much more with your life if you were just homeschooled. Like I had multiple jobs while I was in high school. I learned good skills that actually apply to life.
Yeah, no, I think that a homeschool, there is definitely more freedom. And school itself, like when I was a kid in grade school, I always thought it was so stupid that our school is from like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then we had hours of homework after that. And as a kid, like a 5th grader, I thought, this is so stupid. And my teachers must be so stupid if you can't teach me what you need to teach me in 8 hours that I'm with you, or whatever, 6 hours.
Right.
4, 5, 6, 7 hours. I'm with you for 7 hours a day, and you can't teach me this 4th grade math. Like, you have to send me home to work on it at home. I just always thought that was so stupid. And I was kind of like, parents, why do you also not think my teachers are stupid?
Well, what's the point of homework anyway? I don't understand the point of homework.
To like see if you know what you're learning.
Well, I know, but like to your point.
Why don't you just do it in school? I think it's partially because like in my class, we had 3 classes of 30 kids each and then 1 teacher. And sometimes the teachers had an assistant. But I think it's just like you're managing 30 kids. And so there's a lot of disruptions and there's like lots of questions because you're only as strong as your weakest link. So like your class of 30 is only learning at the pace of the dumbest student, to like put it bluntly. So if that, or a student that needs or wants attention or like needs to ask questions, which is fine, but like the pace of learning is going to be slowed down to one of those things. So I think that that's why it's like we can't get through it, because sometimes like when I was in high school, we would have time to work on our homework in class a lot more than I feel like in grade school. But I think that's why, because like you just spend so much time like managing the people, trying to facilitate questions and stuff. It's kind of like in the corporate world how meetings are often like 30 minutes when they could be like 5, just because you have people with input and like to slow things down and whatever.
I guess that makes sense, but then why are you being sent home with homework? Like,
because eventually you have to learn it at some point.
Yeah, but what are you learning and why do you have to learn it? And that's my argument for homeschool. Like, I feel like there are a lot of subjects in school that are not really that beneficial in general.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, long story short, I mean, homeschooling was awesome in my opinion. Like I mean, there were a lot of kids that I knew. So this is kind of like how my homeschooling experience worked for people who don't know anything about homeschooling. When I was a kid, I would do school with my family at home. And like my mom would make out this like big long schedule, and like this is my schedule for the year. So after a little bit, I don't really remember much about like the kindergarten, like first grade, second grade time frame. But once I kind of got to like third, fourth grade, my mom would make a schedule. And so then like I would just have a big binder that said, okay, flip out to this is the date. Okay. So this is, on Monday, you're going to do geography and history and whatever. And in each little block on the schedule would say like from like 9 to 9:30, like you're going to do your geography homework and all that stuff. And so like I would just go and get like the geography book and turn to like lesson 5. Learn about, pick a country, and so like that was like the thing. And then like I'd have like a quiz scheduled or something, and then like I would go get my mom and be like, hey, so I got to do this quiz. So she'd be like, cool, sit at the kitchen table, here's your quiz paper. And then she had a grade book, but like I would just sit there and do my quiz, and she'd just kind of watch me, make sure I wasn't cheating. Which didn't always work out, but that's okay. Not really. It's not okay to cheat. It's not, but sometimes I'd get creative on how to accomplish the task. But not with geography.
Not with geography.
Geography was fun.
That I took serious.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so like you would go through and like do these, you just kind of like do these things.
So
and
you
like,
had to teach yourself everything?
I didn't teach myself everything. A lot of it was like just, hey, just read this book and like, do this thing.
That sounds like boring.
It wasn't that boring though, because, I would do like the menial tasks and stuff in the morning while she was like helping my other siblings with like their school when they needed more attention for something. If I was capable, like she would let me just do whatever I needed to do. But then in the afternoons, she would kind of combine like what I was learning with like something that my sister was learning and something my other sister was learning. And so we would sit down and my mom would read for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. and would read like, a book about like Little House on the Prairie. I'm pretty sure
I
it was one
hated
of
that book.
Yeah, you might have. Everybody's got their own taste. But
What
like
is it, friggin' Laura Ingalls or something?
Yep, Laura Ingalls.
No, I hated that. I had that book. It was like as thick as a Bible.
Why didn't you like it?
It's old. Boring. Get out. Like we have
Dana does not
technology.
Like history. Right, but
I just don't want to live on the prairie. It sounds like I don't want to wear a long dress and a bonnet and like I just hated it.
This sounds very ironic coming from the lady who's making sourdough.
Yeah, but I told you I'm the modern pioneer. I'm not an old pioneer.
Okay, that's fine. You can merge the two families together.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just using that. That's a common book everybody knows. But no, I mean, I remember loving the read alouds. Like we'd sit there, we'd just like hang out in the living room and she'd just like read for an hour. And it was, she's actually a very good reader. She really like puts you in the story, I think. I mean, I don't know now, but that's what I remember. And I thought it was great. But then like if you could be done with school by like lunchtime and then you go outside and you play for the rest of the day and you go do whatever you want to do. And that was like the kindergarten, first grade, third grade, up until like the high school years. And we would have these big things too, where like, you're not the only homeschool kid in the community. Like there's a lot of other homeschool kids around that you just don't even know about. And so like we would get together at like a church or like a community center or a park or something like that. And we would do like these big like group classes. Like I did like PE and like 4-H and different stuff like that. And yes, we did have sports. We had a lot of sports. I played soccer, baseball, football, basketball pretty much the whole time I was growing up. And that was great. I mean, our football team was awesome at the time. And it was all like volunteer coaches, like volunteer parents that, just wanted to have an impact on their kids and stuff like that. And I thought it was a blast. I thought homeschooling was way more fun and I learned way more than my counterparts that I knew from public school. Maybe that's just the people that I was associating with, but the public school kids that I knew didn't seem that bright, in my opinion. I'm sure there are plenty of public school kids that are very bright and have very good teachers, but I don't think that that's the majority. I think that's more like the anomaly nowadays.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have public school experience except in college, but I think college is different. It's not public school either. I guess it's state school. You're still paying for it.
Well, I mean, that's what public school is state school.
Yeah, but you don't pay for it.
That's true. But
you do pay for it, but
yeah, you pay for it in taxes. You pay for them both in taxes. Everybody still pays for them, and that's where college feels like a scam.
Who knew it was so hard to put headphones on?
So back to state school. Sorry, we had a slight camera malfunction. Yeah, no, I think you pay for both of those, but
no, I mean you pay for public school in taxes, but state school is paid for by tuition.
Yeah, but don't they get, I think they get government subsidies too. So, I mean, you're kind of still paying for it in taxes, which is why it kind of feels like a scam. Like, why should you pay for it if they're getting subsidized by taxes too?
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite the same as just like paying for public school outright, but
yeah, there's kind of more to it, I guess. But so what kind of school did you go to?
I went to a private Catholic school.
What was that like? Well, and I did have a question about this too. So you were in a class that had 99 people in it. So that means one of your classes had 39 people instead of just 30?
No, that was in grade school. So like elementary school from kindergarten to 8th grade. We had 90 kids in our class or our grade. So then, roughly. So then 30 people a class. 3 classes. And then when I was in high school, we had my class of 99 people. We started out with 100 and then like we added maybe 100, maybe a little bit more. We added a few people, lost a few people throughout the year, and then the graduating class was 99 people.
Well, then how does that work when you like go to class? Like, are you just with the same teacher all day? And then
So you have like your homeroom teacher. So you start, typically, in my experience, you start the day in your homeroom. So you have like so of the 90 kids every year, it changes. Like you find out in the summer who's in your class. So they split up the 90 kids into 3 different classes, and every year that changes. So like your friends could be in a different class than you.
that sucks.
Yeah, it does. Thankfully, Aaron and I were in the same class like most of the time, probably like at least 5 grades, I would say. But yeah, there were a few years where we were separated, which sucks. But then you have certain teachers that teach different subjects. And so like your class you will like all physically go to a different classroom so like when I was in 8th grade, for example, my homeroom teacher taught, what did she teach? I actually don't remember what she taught. We'll call it social studies. She taught social studies. So like we would stay in her classroom for social studies, but then like we would leave our classroom and physically go to a different classroom where a different teacher taught math. But like that math teacher could be like my friend's homeroom teacher. And then you have like music. So you go to the music room for that, and you have PE. So you obviously go to the gym for that. And then I think in the younger grades, your homeroom teacher teaches a lot more of the stuff. So like you stay with your homeroom teacher for most of the day. But as you get older, so like when I was in 7th and 8th grade, all of those teachers, so there were 6 of them, like we split between, so even when I was in 8th grade, like one of the 7th grade teachers would teach like religion or something. So it's more spread out. Whereas when you're in like 2nd grade, your homeroom teacher is teaching you like math and English and science and whatever. But then as you get older and it gets more specialized, then they have teachers that are more suited to those specific subjects.
So what do the teachers do when you're not in their class?
They have another class in their room, or they have like a break time. I think typically one time slot during the day they have no kids, but otherwise they just have a different class.
So it's like you have this class of 30 kids, you go to social studies first while like Aaron's class goes to homeroom, and then you guys like switch kind of thing.
Yeah, like if Aaron and I were in different classes, then like I could be in science class while she's in math class.
Oh, okay.
But then you have lunch and recess at the same time. So you get to still hang out with them. And
yeah, did you know any homeschool kids growing up?
I have some cousins that were homeschooled, but they lived in a different state, so was not like up close and personal. I like knew of people who homeschooled their kids. Like sometimes I would see, maybe this was when I was older or when we had like a day off of school or something, but I do remember seeing kids like at daily mass sometimes with their parents and thinking like, why aren't those kids in school? But I can't remember what the circumstance, because like if I was there, then that would mean I wasn't in school. So maybe it was when I was older, but I guess I didn't realize that like those kids were homeschooled, so they had the freedom to do that. So no, I didn't like know anyone up close and personal that was homeschooled when I was growing up. I always requested to be homeschooled, and my mom told me no. And now she has a different opinion about that. But I did request to be homeschooled multiple times. But that was mostly because I was just like, I don't want to go to school. Like, it sounds way better to just stay home. And I had a fine time in school. Like, I didn't have any issues with, like, bullying or bad teachers or anything. I just thought it was dumb. I was like, we spend the whole day here. This feels really boring. There's not a lot of freedom. Like, I have to sit here while so and so asks 75 questions that like I already know the answer to. I do remember this in school sometimes, and I did very well in school. I don't think I was naturally smart necessarily. I think I just like knew I had to get good grades, so I did the work. But I do remember sometimes like the teachers would ask questions, and to me, they would ask a question for like just someone in the class to answer. And there were a lot of times where I wouldn't vocally answer the question or like raise my hand to answer the question because the answer was so obvious that I was like, that's stupid. Why would I like the answer is so obvious. I don't even want to say it out loud.
Yeah, those questions suck.
Yeah. So sometimes I just thought that was stupid. Like, what are we actually learning? But then there were other subjects or other topics that were definitely harder to learn that I remember being at home with the book thinking like I need a teacher to walk me through this because me just reading through the textbook like is not connecting the dots.
Yeah. I actually, I don't know. I just lost my train of thought.
I do feel like the social aspect of school is a big factor because my very best friend, like we met when we were 5. It was in Vacation Bible School, but it was at our school. So then we went to grade school together. And yeah, you kind of learn like how to be among other people on a regular basis and how to just like form friendships. And so I do think that is important because you're spending all day with these people, but I don't think that is instilled in you in school because like I went to grade school with 90 other people in my class. So I effectively spent 9 years with the same 90 people. And now I talk to one of them.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, but like literally every day, August through May, for 9 years of my life, I spent with the same people. And now I don't keep in touch with any of them except one.
Did you want to?
I don't know. I think that's probably a factor more about the transition from grade school to high school because it works differently depending on like your school system and where you are in the country. But where I'm from, it was like very normal to be kindergarten to 8th grade in one school, and then 9th through 12th grade in high school at a different school. So like I think there was like one school that went from kindergarten to 12th grade, but they were like kind of, you didn't really know where they were and nobody really knew anyone that went there. Anyway, so the divide after I graduated 8th grade is I was literally the only person from my class that went to the high school that I went to. There were 2, an all-girls school and an all-guys school, and then a co-ed school that were all still private Catholic schools that the majority of the kids from my class went to, either the all-girls school, the all-boys school, or the co-ed. And then there were like maybe 10 of us that either went to a different school or to public school. And so like my best friend, she went to public school and there were like maybe 5 other people from our class that went to high school with her. And so I think that's just the product of like why I only talk to her, because let's say like 35 of the girls all went to the same high school. So like their friendships stayed intact because now they're like hanging out every day. Whereas me going to a different school, like it was hard to keep a relationship with people who went to a different school. Yeah. Because like I'm in high school, the beginning of high school, you're not driving and whatever. So then I made new friends in high school, but then like a lot of the people who were at my high school had gone to grade school together. Oh. And so like they already had friends going into it. So I came out of high school with like a handful of good friends that I was friends with pretty much everybody in high school, but the people I still talk to this day from high school are very few and far between. Like I can think of 2 that I talk to on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah.
That were in my grade. But I think that that's all that was. Like if I had gone to the high school where a bunch of people from my grade school went to, then I would probably talk to a lot more people from
I think
school.
that's also kind of just a factor of like growing up in life. I mean, because obviously we had different school experiences growing up, but there's only two people from school that I was in like the homeschool community with that I still talk to these days.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that is, I would need the perspective, I guess, of other people, because I feel like that was the negative of me switching to a school where I was the only one, literally the only one. And then you just being homeschooled, like both of those factors are kind of isolating in and of themselves. So I think if my grade school was like kindergarten to 12th grade and you had those like high school years, which are really formative, like you really kind of figure out who you are and where you fit in the world. So to be like starting out from ground zero, basically, which is what I felt like I was doing entering high school. I tried to have a positive attitude to be like, I'm just going to have the most friends because I have my my grade school friends and then my high school friends. But I have to attend to my sourdough. Has it been a half an hour already?
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Sourdough is a needy mistress.
All right. I saw this girl on Instagram who was like showing her sourdough loaf and talking about like why it was so horrible and how much she messed up. And I like, one, I haven't been doing sourdough for very long. 2, it's not my identity. And 3, like I don't know really anything about it. I just kind of like do it and it seems fine.
Seems great.
But this girl was like showing her loaf and was like just talking about how horrible it was. And I was like looking at it. I was like, I don't know. It looks pretty good. I don't know what. It kind of looks like loaves that I make that I would feel like good about those. But she just was like berating herself. And I was like, do I need to look more into what my loaf is supposed to look like?
Maybe it's like, a little bit of that, or maybe she's one of those people that like needs the extra attention.
To be like, no, tell me my loaf is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did go to high school, ironically, with a girl like that.
That made sourdough loaves that had issues?
No, she was like really cute. Like in high school, she was like the hot girl. But she would always be like, and she was really pretty. And like I had horrible acne in high school and I went to an all girls school, so like some people wore makeup, but like it was weird. The only reason you really wore makeup is like if you had a date after school or some reason. But even then most people would just go to the bathroom after school and put their makeup on anyway. So I had this bad acne, and this other girl was like had never had any acne, clear skin, like was beautiful, athletic, whatever. And we were friends, and she would get a pimple and just like the whole, like the tiniest little one pimple, like one individual pimple. And the whole day she'd be like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. Do you see my pimple? Is it so bad? Tell me how bad it is. And she just wanted you to be like, oh no, you're beautiful.
You're so gorgeous.
Yeah. So I'd just be like, shut up. It's fine. Do you see the not just one pimple? Shut up.
Dude, have you noticed this new thing where people are putting stickers on their face to cover up pimples?
Yeah, it's weird. Or there's like pimple patches.
Yeah, I feel like it just draws more attention to it. And like, guess what, man? Maybe just wash your face a little bit. And don't be...
No, come on. There's more to it than that.
There's definitely more to it than that. A lot of it can be hormones and other things. But like, don't be so self-conscious. Like, it's okay. Things happen.
Yeah, one of my friends in high school who I still talk to, I remember her saying she had a pimple at one point, and her mom said to her like, oh, your pimple's kind of cute. And she was like, it like almost like a freckle. And she was like, I had never thought of that before. She's like, it kind of is. And like, not that pimples are cute, because they're not. But it is interesting because like if you just have one pimple, like, and it kind of looks like a freckle, like maybe it's just cute. But yeah, I don't know, the sticker thing and the pimple patch thing, and people who like are into like Dr. Pimple Popper or whatever, ugh, gag me. That's so gross. I don't know. I struggled with hormonal acne. I still have as an adult. One time I was at the dermatologist and he used the phrase adult acne, and I was in high school, I think, and I was like, this is gonna last forever. Like I just assumed once I was no longer a teenager, it just wouldn't be an issue. Mm-hmm. And that is not the case. And I do recognize that it is lots of lifestyle factors are involved, mm-hmm. including like caffeine, which I have on the table right now. I'm well aware of that. But yeah, I would need a lot of stickers. So
That's all right. You're gorgeous.
Tell me I'm pretty.
I don't even notice your pimples. Actually, don't notice them for real. But
I don't know that I would call them pimples. I feel like I've never had like a pimple. It's always just acne, like a group, like a herd. Like a pimple would be fine. There'd probably be a reason for that.
You need a sheepdog for your face. Keep that herd in. If you have a herd, but I don't see a herd. This is a dangerous hole. So, yeah, homeschooling's not good. Not good for social interactions, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my.
Look, you just got to say what's on your mind, okay?
So, yeah.
Sometimes it works out and sometimes it really doesn't. Good opportunity to learn how to be quiet. Did your mom ever tell you that children should be seen and not heard?
Not to my memory.
No.
I probably would not have accepted that.
I don't think my mom said that ever, but I do remember like certain people in my family that would be like, children are supposed to be seen and not heard.
That makes
But
no
like,
sense.
why? Like, I'm curious, man. What's going on in life?
No, I don't know. I think you just tell those people to shut up and you run away. Screaming.
Yeah, I
don't think that would have gone well with me as a young
but
buck.
You're a full espresso shot, so.
Yeah, I don't think I would have liked that.
No, I think that I was talking with somebody about this the other day, that it's like kids are just really experiencing life for the first time, and they're just thinking about all of these things, and so they'll just say like whatever comes out of their mouth. And I feel like, being homeschooled is almost like a better place to experience that at. And in one of our recent podcasts, I talked a little bit about how important I think motherhood is. And I just really feel like that's like what kids need, is learning from their mom, and like especially also learning from their dad, and like being with their parents and people that genuinely care about like them as a human being and whether or not they're successful. And I'm sure that there are plenty of teachers out there that do feel like that also. But like, what's the margin for error on that too, though? Because how many kids go through school and have a horrendous experience and don't get any life skills?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in all the movies, school is just like a terrible experience, and there's always like the popular girls and the bullies and the nerds and the like goth and emo kids, and that was not my experience at all. I mean, there were definitely like the more popular kids, and then the people who were like more into different things like goth or emo or whatever. Like there definitely were categories of people, but in both my grade school and high school experience, I would say that I was friends with everyone in all of my classes, but I didn't like hang out with everyone outside of school. But like I got along, I would say, with 97% of all of the people that I went to grade school and high school with. Never had any issues like that. But seeing my parents moved when I was 18 to a house where you had to drive by a middle school to get to their house. And just as a like college student, seeing the going ons of that school, like before and after school and then during recess sometimes, I was like, oh my gosh, like these are middle schoolers, and just the shenanigans that's like happening outside of school before and after school time was very different than anything.
Like what?
Just like you could see like cliques happening. You could sometimes see not like I never witnessed like bullying happening necessarily, but it was like you could just tell, like driving by and you see a group of kids, like you can kind of be like, oh, that one kid's getting left out, or like they're all laughing at the same kid, or just like the way that people are dressed. Because that was the other thing, both of the schools that I went to, since they were private Catholic schools, had uniforms. And I didn't love wearing a uniform, but I like it was easy and I had to think about what to wear. And then the whole point of it, from my perspective, is that then you are eliminating that ability to be like, to judge someone based on their like appearance or what they can wear. So like it was harder to judge like the rich kids from the poor kids because you're all wearing the same outfit versus a school where you can wear whatever you want. And then like some kids are dressed in really nice expensive clothes and then other kids are not. And then makes it easier to then have like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
Equality?
No, to like have what I'm looking, like to be made fun of. Like if you go to school wearing like ripped jeans because you can't, they're like legitimately ripped jeans because you can't afford nice jeans. Mm-hmm. And then you have a bunch of other people who are like wearing really nice jeans. Then like the kid with the ripped jeans because they can't afford the nice jeans,
you might get
more
bullied.
likely to get made fun of. So eliminating that, I do think, was helpful.
I could see that. It's so interesting, like learning about what other people's school experiences were like, just because like I've never been.
What did your mom make you wear? Did you just wear whatever you want?
Yeah, I just wore whatever I wanted. But like a lot of kids that so like we would have like homeschool groups, and they'd be called co-ops, where you'd like I said earlier, you'd get together at like a community center or something like that, and so like sometimes you would have situations where people would like one parent would give a class about science because they happen to get a degree in science and stuff. Mm-hmm. So like we would do stuff like that, and you'd go like one day a week, like on like Wednesdays, and you'd get together somewhere from like 8 to 3 or something like that, or like 9 to 3. And that was kind of fun. It was like kind of like simulated school in a way, but there was like a lot more like, I mean, I don't know, because I never went to school, but it felt really like relaxed. Like everybody could participate and communicate and, you know, that kind of thing. But I forgot where I was going with this.
What you were wearing?
Oh, yeah. So like a lot of the kids that I knew from like the homeschool groups and stuff.
Khakis and a tie.
Nah, there were a few of those. But some of them were very like, oh yeah, I go to school in my pajamas and I like sleeping until like 9 or 10 or whatever. I wasn't like that. I got up like 6. I've been like this my entire life, but I get up between like 4 and 6 a.m. for as long as I can remember. And that kind of stemmed because my dad would go to play basketball at a local church with a group of guys Monday, Wednesday, Friday every morning when I was growing up. And as a kid, you know, you want to go with your dad and do everything with your dad because he's the most exciting person around, at least for boys. I don't know about girls. But so a I was just always an early riser, and I would get up and I would go when I got old enough to participate. He would take me with him, and so I was going to play basketball at 5 a.m. and then starting my day after that, and then doing all of these things. Like I would come home, take a shower, get into normal clothes. Sometimes I wouldn't even do school until the evenings, and I would just like go to work with my dad for the day because he was self-employed, ran his own company, so I would go to work with him, and I would, sweep the floors and like do dirty work and learn about stuff like that. And I felt like it was a good education because I was constantly forced to interact with adults on an adult level. Like we would go places, and he would make me go to the bank and talk to the teller and deposit, the checks that, he was getting paid and stuff like that. Or I had to go to like a store and like order supplies and stuff like that. And he would make me do it as a young person, as like a little kid, instead of like waiting until, you're a grown adult. Oh, I don't know how to do this. And so I felt like I got a good education just from having more life experience instead of sitting in a class and learning about shit that I don't care about. So... But I mean, there's lots of things that I cared about in school. Like I love history, love politics. That was like my favorite class. Like I was so excited when I got into high school because my mom was setting up my high school schedule and was like, okay, so these are the things that you need to complete over the next 4 years per the state requirements. When do you want to take these? And for whatever reason, at like 7th or 8th grade, I was really, really into like the Constitution and, that type of politics. So I took, what's it called? What's the C word for it? It's oh man, I can't remember.
Civics.
That's what it is. Good call. Yeah, no, I took civics in the 9th grade.
Because I went to regular school.
Oh, okay. Arguably, though, I know more about civics now than you do.
Yeah, I did not find history or politics to be interesting in the least.
Why?
As it was boring. History already happened. I don't care. Politics, I don't want to be in the White House.
Well, I think that people will say that a lot, that they're not interested in history.
No, I'm not saying that it's the right perspective or it's a good perspective. I'm just saying as a like 4th grader, that was my perspective. I do understand the importance of history, but I think it was also the way we had to do history. It was like, in what year did Pennsylvania get its capital?
Oh yeah, that's not
so
important.
You like had to memorize lots of dates, and so it wasn't like teaching the like this happened and then that caused this and you should learn about it so like you don't repeat it, or learn about it so you can like pull the principles from it. It was just like, what year did we take over? What year did the British overthrow the king or whatever?
Oh, so you're doing like high level, like, and I've actually heard this from several other people that, had a regular school experience where it's like, oh, we just learned a bunch of dates about like this and that, but you're not learning like, okay, a Serbian person murdered the crown prince of Austria-Hungary.
Learn that, yeah.
Right, but you didn't learn like, why are these two countries having beef and why is there an important conflict here? And why did all of these other countries like come together to like, have this like horrific war during World War I? And how did that affect us to where we are now? You didn't learn that. You learned, oh, it happened on this date.
I mean, it was both, but I don't think it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't applied to like real world life now.
Yeah. I do think that it took me a while.
It was literally just the history. It wasn't like history applied to today.
Oh, history applied. Maybe I think that's what it should be called, not social studies. It should be history applied.
Yeah.
Maybe
So that's just what I thought was boring. And
yeah.
I just generally don't like old things. Like I don't like old buildings. I don't like old
I was gonna ask you about
furniture.
that.
I don't like old books. I don't like old movies.
So you don't like...
I do like old people, but that's like they're the extent of old things that I like. I took a gerontology class in college.
What?
Mm-hmm.
A what?
Gerontology.
Gerontology.
It's the study of old people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was very interesting. My professors sucked, but otherwise the class itself was interesting.
What do you study when studying old people?
Old people.
Living old people?
Yeah.
Please expand.
It's just like the study of old people. I don't know.
Yeah, but what are you studying? Do you have a bunch of old people that you're running a test on, or like
No.
how are you studying them? What do you do? What's the end goal of the class?
To understand the wisdom from old people. I don't remember a lot of what we actually did in the class. I do remember interviewing my grandma for a project, which was very interesting. And I also do remember that we learned when you ask an old person a question that you have to give them something crazy, like 90 seconds to reply. Because like you're old, so your faculties could be going slower. So like just because if I ask you a question and you don't answer it right away, doesn't, plus they have like more in their Rolodex to go through to come up with an answer. But I think like especially really old people who literally like you ask them a question and then need time to process. And that was something that was interesting to me, is just the patience to give them space to actually answer the question without being like, oh, it's been 10 seconds. I'm moving on.
I feel like that's something that has deteriorated drastically over, I don't know, like the past decade. Like people's general patience overall. I noticed this past week while I was at work that a lot of times, and even I'm guilty of this too, where people will have a thought and they're working on getting it out, but then people will frequently cut them off and go on with their own thought. And that person won't even get the full thought out before he gets cut off by another person. Because people are not patient and are not willing to listen to other people process what they're thinking. I think that sucks. And I think it's going to cause a lot of problems moving forward in society, because you're right about, I mean, I never thought you were wrong about, giving old people time to process things, but it's not just old people that need time to process things either. Like just in a general conversation, you need to give people time to really expand on their thought and like work through everything that they are thinking. Because you've criticized me for being too fast. And I think you're right about that. And part of that, I think, stems from constantly being around other people that are infected by this, where you have to get your idea out fast enough so that people hear you and hear what you're saying before they move on with their own idea.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times people just want to talk. They're not really listening. Because actually that is a thing in conversation where you can tell if someone is not listening to you and they're just like in their own head thinking about what they're going to say next, is when you stop talking, or even when you pause and then they start talking immediately. If there's no gap, then that's when you know they have not been listening. They've just been like waiting for their turn to talk. And I think that's something that is really interesting. One, because a lot of people do it, and like we're all guilty of it to some degree. But also with this podcast and these conversations, like, maybe you should cut out the like
dead space
and those, because that's boring and whatever, which is, I mean, there's some truth to that, but it's also like in regular conversation though, you have to, like, you say something, I don't know beforehand what you're going to say. So you say it, I'm listening to you say it. And then when you're done, it's like, okay, now I'm responding to you based on what you said. But if there's no gap in that, then am I thinking about what I'm going to say while you're still talking? And if so, then I'm not actually listening. So like, even though sometimes that dead space might be like, oh, this is boring, I want it to be more fast paced, it's like, but you actually need that. And I think that it's natural.
I think you're right about that. I did notice too, like I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of podcasts. And last night I was cleaning up the house and I didn't listen to anything. And I was just like alone with my thoughts. And I had like a million thoughts going through my head. And I was like, oh, wow, I need to slow down. And like, I've kind of like been on this run where like for I'd say probably 2 years now, I've just listened to like podcasts 24/7, 365, any dead space I have listening to podcasts. But I mean, that stems from like, I'm very hungry for information. I'm very curious about a lot of different things. But sometimes it really is nice to just have that peace and that space of what am I thinking about? Am I just thinking everybody else's thoughts? Or do I actually have some of my own original thoughts? But you got to give yourself that time to process that. And I do think that that's something that may or may not be kind of getting lost on culture as a whole. You know, with that being patient, like what happened to all the patience? Nobody has any patience anymore at all. And nobody has any grace for any people. I feel like quiet off. I mean, maybe it's me.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about communicating patience and like the need for patience in society.
Yeah, I think that writing stuff down is important, and I think that we should do more of that. But I also think that that's why people have all their best thoughts in the shower, because you don't have any distractions and you just are alone with your thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, having that space I feel like is really important. And I know you hate Little House on the Prairie, but it's kind of like you almost need that like space in nature to just kind of like give yourself that time to understand everything that's going on around you. Because I feel like I didn't really start realizing it until recently, just how connected like everything is. And I know it sounds kind of like woo woo and a little hippie or whatever, but like I had this thought this morning that, you know, we put all kinds of poison and all this stuff on your grass and around your house and things like that. But what about all the animals that are running around that help the ecosystem that you need to kind of keep everything in balance? Like we've seen multiple times where, sorry.
I'm just wondering how this is connecting to conversation.
Well, it connects to conversation because when you're trying to talk to people and really get something important out, nobody gives you any time to do it. And I feel like we're lacking community and we're lacking connection and we're lacking like understanding and appreciating people. Like I get, like you were talking about in your class, and you know, you're studying old people. How do you determine what a wise old person is? You know, I mean, I'm sure that there's dumb young people, so I'm sure there's dumb old people too. So how do you determine, like, is this somebody who I want to learn from, who is actually wise, versus like, oh, this is someone who's just giving me bullshit?
Well, I mean, I think that, you have, just because you're old doesn't
make you wise.
That you're wise. But generally speaking, with age, you just have more life experience. So you just have more knowledge and experiences that you've been through. So it's kind of like after you have a kid, like you're just like, oh, this changes my perspective of the world in so many ways that you cannot understand before you have a kid.
Yeah.
And before you have a kid, you think, like, I can imagine what it would be like to have a kid. Like, I've been around, I was a kid, and then you have a kid and like your whole perspective changes. I think it's just kind of like that with old people. Yeah, they may not all be the smartest, but they just have like a quantity, like a larger vat of life experiences to pull from. But yeah, sometimes you talk to old people and you just hear the same war stories like over and over and over again. But I think you just recognize it's just like you would with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You would identify, is this a person that I can trust? Is this a person that I believe? Is this a person that I would take advice from?
Right. Well, I do think that a lot of times it seems like elderly people are not willing to like change their mind on anything. This doesn't go for all people, but it feels like the ones that I've interacted with anyway. People get to a certain point and they stop thinking like critically. They say, "Oh, this is exactly what I've experienced, therefore everything else must be exactly the same."
Yeah, I think that that's more of like a character trait than a age
Really?
thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that.
Because I mean, there's lots of old people who have like changed their perspective or their attitude towards certain things. There are a lot that have not, but I don't know that that's necessarily an age thing. Like, take for example, when you go to churches and it's like a lot of old people, a lot of those people haven't necessarily gone to church their whole life. They're just, this is my theory, like getting closer to the end of their life and realizing like, oh shoot, what if this whole like Jesus, religion, heaven and hell thing is real? Maybe I should do something about it. But I would say a lot of those people potentially haven't been like church going their whole life, because then the church would be filled with people of all ages, not just mostly, which it's not, I mean, it's not all old people, but it's, I mean, if you go into a church, you're going to see a decent amount of old people, and that's going to be the like majority group, I think.
Yeah, I feel like most of the churches that I have attended recently have been like majority elderly people. I don't know that it's always been like that with the churches that I've gone to, but
Is she awake?
no, that's the neighbors.
Oh.
Did you just try to look at your watch?
Yeah, usually we gotta wake her up soon, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I do think that I don't know.
Well,
I lost it.
Yeah, there's also your openness to, there's a term for it. It's like one of the big 5 personality traits. Openness to new experiences, I think. I mean, that could be part of it. My openness to new experiences is very low. Last time I took one of those tests. So I think it's just people crave routines and habits, and sometimes you just get stuck in your ways and you don't expand your views because what you have done or how you have thought has worked out.
Yeah.
For you.
You just want to stay in the comfort zone.
Yeah. This is my issue with worry. So I worry way too much obnoxiously about things that don't make sense, and I can logically be like, that doesn't make sense. Why am I worrying about that? But thankfully, most of the like horrible things that I have worried about have never happened. So therefore I like it confirmation bias that like, okay, I'm worrying and then the bad things are not necessarily happening. Therefore my worrying must be helping. So I should keep doing it, which like is asinine and backwards and makes no sense. And most of the things I worry about never happen anyway. So it's like, why
did I waste all that time?
Yeah, but that's a personal thing that I gotta work out.
I mean, we all have our personal things we got to work on, but that's also one of those things. Like, men and women are different, so you're experiencing. This came up in my mind when you were talking about your interest in civics. Like, why would you be interested in civics? I'm not interested in how to make sourdough. I mean, I'm interested in it vicariously because I know that you care about it, and I like the bread. I love the bread, but it's not something where I wake up every day and I'm like, oh, let me learn how to make sourdough.
Right.
But I do wake up and say, dude, what's going on with politics today? What's going on with history? Oh, there's a new history podcast out. Let me get at that. I want to know the information. But I don't think you're like that.
Yeah. I mean, what comes to mind with that kind of thing is okay, so I would say I'm not interested in politics because it doesn't affect my life, which I realize that it does affect my life. And like over the past 5 years, it's really like your eyes have been open to how it is affecting your life, i.e. COVID. And then, like the snowball effect of all of the other things. So I do realize that it does. And I think that COVID really did open up my and many other people's eyes to the fact that like it does matter who your governor is. It does matter who like your local politicians are. It does matter who those people are. Yes, I do think that, and I think it's important to like know that and get involved.
Who's on the school board?
Yes, but for me personally, I take a step back and say like, okay, before that, how's like my home? How is my personal responsibility before I like go out and try to save the state? Like, do I have my shit together? That's kind of where I start. But I think that is a little bit of like a homemaker female responsibility, more so to be like the caretaker of the home, and then like you can go out in the world. And
well, I think you're on the right path with that too, though, because you can't go out and fix big problems in your own society if you can't take care of yourself.
Right.
So like whether you're male or female, if you're not handling your own stuff, if you can't, take care of your own health, if you can't, take care of your own finances. What's that?
Was that Annie?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was Annie.
Sorry.
If you can't take care of your basic things, how are you supposed to go out and affect real change for the people around you? You can want to, but you're not going to be effective. People are not going to listen to you if you're not actively taking care of yourself first. Yeah. And it's not a selfish thing to take care of yourself first. Like it's like what they tell you on the airplane. Put your mask on before you put anybody else's mask on. Because if you can't breathe, can't help anybody else.
Yeah, but we shouldn't live our lives by what they tell you on the airplanes. Because
that's some bogus stuff, but we'll save that for next time. I think it's a good place to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.